So this is my Birgi Infinite Reflections Tokens deck. So we have 4 Innkeepers, 4 Falcon Abomination, 4 Birgi God of Storytelling, 4 Grinning Ignis, 4 Tuk Tuk Rumble Fort, 4 Inscription of Insight, 4 Burn Down the House, 4 Grafted Identity, 4 Reflections of Litjara, 4 Islands, 4 Mountains, 4 River Glide Pathway, 4 Surtland Frostpire, 4 Crag Crown Pathway, 4 Bark Channel Pathway. So we got 26 lands, the deck. Alright, so the key cards you're going to need for this deck, let's move these cards over. It'll be these 4 cards. You need Birgi, Ignis, Tuk Tuk, and Reflections in order to make the infinite 2/2, infinite Ignis, Grinning Ignis tokens. And then of course with Robo Fort you can give them haste. I have gameplay that shows how that works out, but the idea would be you want to get this out, play it preferably as soon as possible when you have 5 mana, but like let's say turn 5 when you have 5 lands, play this, declare elemental, because that's the type that Ignis is, and then on turn 6 when you have 6 mana, you can play Birgi for 3, play Ignis for 3, which will cause Birgi to trigger and create 1 red mana. That 1 red mana you can use for Ignis to bounce them back to your hand to create 1 red and 2 colors mana, which is how much he costs to play. So cast them and make another red and bounce it back to hand, cast them again, and keep doing it infinitely. And because you declare elemental for reflections, every time you cast a creature of the elemental type, you will create a spell of that creature. So you'll create, you can create a lot of Grinning Ignis tokens. You can make like 10 of them, and they have 2 power. So that right there is 20 damage right there just with those 10 tokens. You can make more. You can make 20 tokens and have 40 worth of damage, and you can make a lot. But in this game, in MTG Arena, it's difficult to make a lot. If I'm right, I've made 20. So I've been able to make 20 tokens. I had to push further than 20 in one match, but you can make a good amount of tokens. Obviously, just make enough to win you the game. Of course, Robo4 gives them all haste. The thing you'll do once you get enough tokens that you want to attack with, right? Since you use all 6 of your mana to play both of these, right? What you'll do is you'll bounce this back to your hand with the 1 red mana you get from this, and this will give you 1 red mana and 2 of anything, so that's 3 mana right there, which is enough for you to play Robo Fort because it costs the same as Ignis does. So you're going to swap out Ignis for Robo Fort, and then now all your tokens can attack. You could even attack with Birgi if you wanted. She is a 3/3. So those are the 4 cards you'll want to get online, as they say, and make infinite tokens and then attack per game. Obviously, to help us ramp, to help us get to be able to play this as soon as we can. Because if you think about it, in order to play all 4 cards in the same turn, you need 3 for her, 3 for 4, 5 for this. So you'll need at least 8. Because once you play this after you play Birgi, you'll get a mana, so that 1 red mana can go towards playing your Ignis. So you just need 2 colors after that. So you need 8, 9, 10. So you need at least 10 mana in order to play all 3 of these cards in the same turn. Another thing you can do obviously is if you get Birgi and Ignis, combo. If you have Innkeeper in play, you can gain a lot of life. So this is one of the ways I stall. I gain a lot of life. Usually I try to gain up to 40, double the life that I start off the game with. So that way my opponent has to work twice as hard to take me down. So that's one of the things I do. Let's do this combo to gain life. So there's life gaining, essentially infinite life, just like there's infinite tokens, right? So there's 2 infinite loops in here that you can use. Then we just have some other cards to help us, control the game. Burn down the house. Obviously, we have it as a board wipe, but it also has the ability to create tokens, and we can use the tokens to, attack our opponent with. If we're ever in a situation where, we need to make tokens, or just use the tokens to defend. Whenever the tokens die, they deal 1 damage to any target. So you can use it to burn your opponent, or use it to take down their creatures. Like, for example, if you use all 3 tokens to block a 6/6 or anything with 6 toughness, right? Obviously they will all deal at least 3 damage together, and then since they all died, they all will trigger. You will use all their effects on the same creature that you already dealt 3 damage to, and do 3 more damage, and there's how you can take down something that has 6 toughness. So that's a way you can use this. Sometimes there'll be creatures that will have 6 toughness, like maybe a 6/6 flyer or something, or it's just something that has 6 toughness, or maybe they have a token with 6 toughness, like a treefolk token with 6 toughness. So playing these 3 tokens and then wait until they attack and then block with all 3 tokens, you can take them down if they're unaware of what you're trying to do. So there's that. Another trick you can do is make the tokens with 1 copy, and then later on, play a second copy of Burn Down the House, destroying your tokens plus dealing 5 damage to everything, and then use the tokens effects to start picking off any creatures your opponent has left. So, another thing I like to do with Burn Down the House is if I want to play it early, like I want to play it as soon as turn 4, then what I would do is I'll play hopefully a second copy, not the only copy, Grinning Ignis I have in my hand. Play a second copy of it on turn 3, so that way on turn 4 I can bounce it back to my hand for the effect of getting 3 mana, and then tap 2 lands to cast Burn Down the House and be able to do 5 damage across the board in case my opponent managed to establish a board. Sometimes I'll play something like a Robo Fort, use that to defend for a bit, then drop the Ignis, then use then just have the Robo Fort take a hit, use it to be a chump blocker just long enough that next turn I can play Grinning Ignis, or sometimes I just play Grinning Ignis, take the hit, and then on my turn bounce it to the hand, and then drop the Burn Down the House. So that's another way I use these cards. This is useful to help you, get a lot of mana for certain card effects. Like in case you want mana for this, because this requires 8 mana in total to play. So for 1 red mana, you bounce this back to hand and create 3 mana. So 3 mana plus 5 plus 8. Right? You'll be able to play this at full power, or just play this for just 2 mana, because you 1 red, you get 3 mana from this, and then tap 1 blue, and then play this and get the effect off. whatever you want. You know, you can make a token, you can scry 2, then draw 2, or return up to 2 of your opponent's creatures. So you can obviously use this as a way to. I use this like a blue board wipe in a way, because of the ability to bounce 2 creatures. So I tend to clear my opponent's board that way. If I can't KO them through Burn Down the House, for example, then I'll just bounce them back to my opponent's hand. Sometimes the reason why Burn Down the House won't get rid of the card is because of the fact that its toughness is too high. So, and it's because the cards had some effects that triggered and made them strong. So by bouncing them back to the hand, now that my opponent has to start all over again, making them strong again. So I could bounce them back to my opponent's hand. Then if they play them again and try to make them strong again, but not strong enough, that I, hopefully they're weak enough that Burn Down the House will take them down. We also have another potential board wipe through the effect of a certain land, Frostpire. It has the ability where you could essentially pay 5, tap, sacrifice this card, scry 2, and then deal 2 damage to each creature. You can only activate this as a sorcery, so you can only use it on your turn. So we have essentially another board wipe in the deck. So we have 12 technical, board wipes. So give us a little bit board control. That's the usefulness of these cards. Abomination, of course, is. Did I mention this? Well, of course we play this because we can get a life every time we play a creature, especially like our tokens and stuff like that. Or just our Ignis loop. But also we get a treasure token when we play it, so of course it helps us ramp. Falcon Abomination serves 2 purposes. One, it gives us a 2/2 flying body, so we can block flyers. That tends to be a weakness. If you don't have a way to block a flyer, if you don't have reach or flying, you're going to be taking big hits to the face, especially from stuff you can't kill through effects or stuff. So having a flyer is very important. Plus, it gives you a token, and the valuableness of the token is, besides you can use it to attack, can't block obviously, but you can use it to attack. It's the fact that you use the token for grafted identity. So you'll play this to get the token, use this as a chump blocker, block with the Falcon, and then use the token for grafted identity, so that we could take whatever your opponent attacked you with, whatever killed the Falcon, they'll take it with grafted identity. So these 2 have synergy that way. Like I said, inscription, has a couple effects. We typically use the choose up to 2 of our opponent's creatures bounce to the hand effect to help us stall, give us extra turns because we're trying to get to our kill turn. But there's times where we use the scry effect or the token making effect. Something you can do obviously is use the scry effect of 1 copy of the inscription. Then the next turn use the token making ability, so you can make a pretty big token. Obviously, ultimately, you want to be able to pay 8 for this and get all 3 effects. And you want to put it in the order of bouncing 2 of your opponent's creatures, or bouncing up to 2 creatures, but typically it'd be your opponent's creatures. Scry 2, draw 2, and since you drew 2, your hand should be bigger, and you make a token, an XX token equal to the amount of cards in your hands, and your hand should be pretty thick, so hopefully you get a 4/4 illusion token or a 5/5, something nice and strong that you can battle with. Already mentioned about Burn Down the House, grafted identities, so we can steal certain combo cards. And this card is really good because it does other things other than just take something from our opponents. Obviously, you can use tokens for this. Obviously, you can use the Burn Down the House tokens for this effect. You can use any of your sponsors you have in play for this. Oh yeah, the thing I was saying earlier was there's certain cards that combo really well with the loops that I have. For example, with Birgi and Burning Ignis with Innkeeper, all that life gain. If I was to use Grafted Identity to steal one of my creatures that gets like a +1/+1 counter, you know, for every time I gain life, well then I can just gain like 50 life and give, you know, +50/+50 power to that creature, and that's way more than enough to end out my opponent. One interesting thing about this card and any card similar to this that takes control of a creature is that the creature you take has summoning signals. But since we have Robofort, if Robofort's in play when you play this, you have haste. So whatever you take, you can attack with. So if you take something that gets really strong and you have the loop and you're gaining a lot of life, make that thing strong because of it, then you have a really strong attacker you just took and made really strong, and now you can attack your opponent with it and go for game. So you can literally, your win con can literally be something you took from your opponent. So this is like another thing in the deck you could take advantage of. Obviously, you can do the loop to gain a lot of life. You could do the main dex combo to get a whole bunch of tokens and win that way. But you can also, you can even use insight to control the board, fix your hands, and make something a big token you can use as a win con. And then, of course, Grafted Identity can also be used as a win con, taking something strong the opponent has and beating them down with it. Obviously, this could take anything. You could take a like a Tree Folk token, like a random 7 Tree Folk token, bring it to your side, and now it gets stronger for your land cards. The mana base you can obviously tweak. As you can see, we got green-blue land, we got red-green land, we have this, which acts as a 4th board wipe, technically 12th board wipe in the deck. We have some red-blue land and just basic lands. In case any of these lands gets Field of Ruin, you at least have basic lands. I would play other stuff. I don't care too much about Fields of Ruins. I never really deal with it as often as other people do, but just pointing that out, that there are basic lands you could take advantage of. That situation arises, but you can change mana base for whatever suits you. Right now, this mana base works out good for me. It works. The deck works. That's all that matters. There's gameplay that I just uploaded, so go check it out. See you in the video.